All right, so we're going to solve this rational equation right here. Our first step is to factor all denominators as much as possible. So here, that's completely factored. Right here, we could factor some more in here. X minus 2 is completely factored. So 3 over x plus 2 plus 12 over x plus 2, x minus 2 equals negative 1 over x minus 2. At this point, as I look at each denominator, I have an x plus 2, an x minus 2, and x minus 2. So my least common denominator is x plus 2, x minus 2. And that means that x cannot equal plus or minus 2 in my final solution because those are undefined values in the denominator here. So the next step then is to multiply every term by my LCD. When I multiply this over to this term, the x plus 2's cancel out. So I'm left with 3 times x minus 2. Again, top to bottom, the x plus 2 cancels with that x plus 2. Plus, I have 12, and the least common denominator of x plus 2, x minus 2 cancels with this entire denominator, so I'm left with just 12, which equals negative 1 times my least common denominator. The x minus 2's cancel, and I'm left with negative 1 times x plus 2. Now that I've removed the fractions, let's solve. 3x minus 6 plus 12 equals negative x minus 2. I'm going to get all my x's on the same side. Remember, if it's quadratic, you have to get everything on the same side set equal to 0. So what I have here is 4x plus 6 equals negative 2. Subtract 6. And I get 4x equals negative 8. Therefore, x would equal a negative 2. So this is what my final answer comes to. However, as I check it to an excluded value, notice negative 2 is an excluded value. So that means this has no solution. Or we can use the empty set notation. Again, always check your final answer to what was given. Here's another one we're going to solve. So first step is factor out the denominators completely. Anything that's already completely factored, we're just rewriting. My least common denominator would be x minus 3, x minus 2. So in the end, x cannot equal 3 or 2. So we got to check for that as we go. Once I have it completely factored, I can also multiply now my least common denominator to each term. And just to show you written it out real quick how that looks. So x times x minus 3, x minus 2, all over the x minus 2 that was originally there. And notice how those quantities cancel. So I'm left with just x times x minus 3 plus. When I multiply the common denominator to this, the x minus 3 is now canceled, and I'm left with x minus 2 equals 3. So now I got to distribute out and simplify. I get x squared minus 3x plus x squared minus 2x minus 3. Now that I noticed it's quadratic, I'm going to bring that 3 over. So I have 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equals 0. And I can factor by the AC method. So I would have negative 2, 2 times negative 3 is a negative 6. Factors of a negative 6 that add to a negative 5x would be 2x squared minus 6x plus x minus 3. Factor by grouping. I get 2x, x minus 3, sorry about that, plus x minus 1, or x minus 3 equals 0. Factor out that x minus 3, and I'm left with 2x plus 1. My final answer then is x equals 3, or negative 1/2. when I set each of these equal to 0. However, this cannot work. It's an excluded value. So my only answer is a negative 1/2. If you have any questions, please drop me a message on Edmodo.